2017 iPad versus iPad Pro. That's coming up right now. Let's go. So, what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the 2017 Apple iPad for $329 versus the 2016 iPad Pro with support for Apple Pencil. So in this video, we're basically going to talk about the differences with the intentions on trying to help you to decide which is going to be the iPad for you. Now, a lot of people already know I'm not going to go drop $600 on an iPad Pro, but some people are like, I'm a designer and I don't care. I'm going to get the value out of that Apple Pencil, and it's going to be well worth it for me to get an iPad Pro. Then some of you might be saying, you know what? I'm getting that cheaper iPad. It does the same thing. It's basically the same product. And actually, it's not quite the same product. It does do the same functions, but at the end of the day, the iPad Pro will perform better than the iPad 2017. So let's begin with the boot up test of both of these devices. Let me turn the white iPad around and my iPad Pro. So it's going to be a little tricky, so just give me a second to get these bad boys lined up at the same time. And you can see iPad Pro with its dual speakers, only speakers on the bottom here for the 2017 iPad, you can see right there. Other than that, pretty much the same design, but you can see the iPad Pro is a little bit thinner and sleeker. So 3, 2, and 1. Apple logo there, Apple logo there. So let's go ahead and put these bad boys on the table and see which one gets there first. I think it's going to be the iPad Pro. I think that's what most people are probably expecting, but let's see if the newer one can power on first. A9 CPU, A9X. So the A9 beats the Pro to the boot up. Now that might be because I have a little bit more files on my Apple iPad Pro, but who knows? But there goes the iPad Pro. So you've seen right out of the gate, the Apple iPad from 2017, a blazing fast boot up for that device. All right, guys, so before we get into the application test, let's talk a little bit about the Apple iPads here. Now, this is the Apple iPad 9.7, released in March 2017, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and has an Apple A9. It also has an 8827 battery, capable of up to 10 hours on the battery life, 8 megapixel cameras on the rear, and it also shoots in at 1080p for that device. Now, that does have a dual-core 1.84 gigahertz processor, same one that's in the iPhone SE as well as the iPhone 6s, so it's using a 2015 processor in there. It does have the PowerVR GT7600 6-core graphics, so once again the same GPU that is found in the SE, 6s, 6s Plus. It comes in 32 gigabytes and 128 gigabyte storage capacities, and it does have support for silver, gold, and space gray colors, iMessage, FaceTime, all the good stuff that comes with iOS. You can get this in an LTE model as well. So 264 pixels per inch on that Retina display, but it is not laminated to the glass, so it's not quite as good as the True Tone lamination display here for the iPad Pro. It's really hard to see this on camera, but the Pro does have the superior display here. So that's pretty much that iPad. Let's talk a little bit about the iPad Pro now. Now, you will see a little bit of differences here for the Apple iPad Pro over this one. So one of them is specifically that camera bump, and that camera is not the sexiest thing in the world, but it does have a 12 megapixel iSight camera, which does shoot just like an iPhone. So the iPad Pro shoots just like an iPhone, whereas you have an 8 megapixel camera here, which shoots kind of like an iPhone, but not quite as good as an iPhone. You do have a flash there on that iPad, a first for iPad. So the Apple iPad Pro on the right here does give you 9.7-inch display, the same Retina display. Comes in at 1536 by 2048 for both of these devices. 2 gigs of RAM, Apple A9X CPU, so a little bit more oomph for those people who want to do, more professional level things like graphic design, as well as some developing and things like that. So very powerful tablet here for the Apple iPad Pro. True Tone display, like I said earlier, 10 hours of battery life, comes in silver, gold, space gray, and rose gold. So for ladies out there, the iPad Pro comes in rose gold. Dudes too, you can rock the rose gold, that's cool. 264 pixels per inch as well, and it's a little bit lighter and a little bit less thick than the iPad over here, but that's pretty much the only differences. And then another major difference is the price here. for both devices. So the iPad can be had for $329, the 2017 9.7 inch at 32 gigs, or $429 for 128, whereas this guy right here starts at $599. So this is a much more expensive tablet, but it does support the Apple Pencil. You gotta find out if that's really worth it to you. To me, it's actually worth it. It's very productive and very useful if you get your money out of it. But if you don't get your money out of it, it's definitely not a useful tool at all. So you really got to know your needs when you're deciding between these two devices here. All right, so I do have the same applications lined up on both iPads here. Let me go ahead and make sure everything is closed out here on both. And let's begin this test with GTA San Andreas. So you can see there goes the game there. We should see the iPad Pro win this test if I'm not mistaken. But you can see, nah, it's about the same there. So let's go to skip this. And you can see, let's just hit don't allow on both. Just go ahead and hit start game. And you could see GTA San Andreas loading over here and over here. Which one's going to get there first? Wow, the new iPad? The new iPad is a very powerful machine. So you can see right there, gaming is going to be great on both of them. And even though this has an A9X chip, you can see very smooth on both devices. So let's come out of there and let's go into the YouTube application now. And you could see YouTube fires there first on the new iPad. Now this might just be because I have more files and this is a newer iPad. Let's just go to Nick Ackerman. Let's go over here, Nick Ackerman. Let's go over here, Nick Ackerman, and we're gonna play one of my videos. Over here, search, and let's just play my latest video, the iPhone 7 versus the G6. So you can see it's about the same experience in terms of watching a video, but where the iPad Pro is a much better machine is when it comes to the speakers. So let me show you what I mean. So let's go ahead and turn the speakers up here. So you can see that speaker it's pretty loud, but it's not, very deep or punchy. Now let's hear the one on the iPad Pro. Stereo speakers.
Right now, let's go. So, what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, helping you to master your technology.
And you can see how much more punchy, how much more deep the bass is. It's just a much richer stereo speakers here for the iPad Pro. So for audio heads, the iPad Pro is leagues ahead of the $329 iPad. But let's come out of YouTube now and let's go ahead and go into Twitter. And you could see, boom, I'm going to give that one to the 2017 iPad. Let's go to Play Newsstand. I missed that tap. I don't know how I missed that tap, but I missed that tap on the 2017. Let's go to Play Newsstand. And you can see iPad Pro wins that one. Coming home, let's go into Temple Run. And you see iPad Pro. So now the iPad Pro is starting to warm up. Maybe the engine was a little bit cold. iPad Pro again. Let's come out of here. Let's go in the Sonata. And you could see iPad Pro again. So now it's that A9X is starting to show its stuff. Drippler. And you could see 2017 iPad there. So let's go to Calculator. And you could see that looked like the iPad Pro. Let's go into Lightroom. Missed that tap there for the Apple iPad Pro. Let's go into Lightroom. And you could see iPad 2017 coming home. Let's go into eBay. And you could see iPad Pro. So mixing. All right, guys, so let's go into Google Chrome here and let's go into apple.com on both devices. So I'm going to go to apple.com over here on the original iPad. And then I'm going to go to apple.com here on the iPad Pro. So let me go to apple.com here and let's hit go. And you can see the iPad Pro. So the iPad Pro, the faster browsing experience here. And the glass just feels a little bit, more smooth on the iPad Pro in my experience. It just feels smoother to touch this one. This one has like a little gap between the display. And when you tap on it, you could hear it a little bit more than on this device. This device just feels more solid all around. And that's what we would expect if we're going to buy it for more money. Let's head over into cnet.com or the application. You can see the iPad Pro looks to be ahead there. Let's go into Apple Store. And you can see the iPad 2017 takes that. Maybe it's because it wants you to buy it. Who knows? Let's go into Amazon. And you see iPad Pro. And over there, iPad. So let's go into Geekbench. And you can see it looks like the Apple iPad Pro took that one. Let's go into speed test. And looks like we have a winner here in the Apple iPad Pro. Let's do that one more time because that notification popped up. Let's do that speed test one more time. And you can see now it looks like the 2017. But we're going to go ahead and run a Geekbench here on both devices. Here we are running a Geekbench on both of these devices. And when it's done, I will come back and show you the final scores of both devices. Alright guys, so the final scores are in, and you can see we got a 2549 there for the 2017 iPad and a 4408 on the multi-core score. Now over here on the iPad Pro, 3088 on the single core, 5108 on the multi-core. So these scores are not that much different. I mean, yeah, 500 points or so here and there, but that's not going to change too much in the real world, and you've seen that throughout this video. Now going into multitasking, pretty much every iOS product does multitask pretty well, so I'm not going to go over all of this, but I'm just trying to show you here that you get an incredible value with the 2017 Apple iPad over the iPad Pro if you're just going to use it for media stuff. Now, if you're very productive and you need to, like, you know, take a lot of notes on your iPad, or you want to draw and stuff like that, this is not the one for you. This is the one for you regardless of its price point. The Apple Pencil is incredible if you do know how to use it. Well, I mean, not know how to use it, but you do make use of this Apple Pencil. So that's pretty much my assessment here on the iPad versus the iPad Pro. I am going to do a should you buy video. What is going to be more like a review of these two rather than just like a speed test. This was more of a speed test in this video. But which iPad would you go with? The 2017 iPad or the iPad Pro? Comment that down below in the comment section of this video. This was Nick here helping to master your technology. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more tech videos like this. I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.